my gosh. Hey, how's it going, bosses? Welcome back to your favorite show, The Truck Boss Show. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel and hit that bell notification so you're up to date with all the latest trucker news.
We've got a great show for you guys today. Here's what we have on tap. We get a tour of an awesome international Cabover, but the story behind it might make you shed a tear. And we're also talking to the Technology and Maintenance Council about AC preventive maintenance and the tips that you need to know. And we're also featuring one of TBS's exclusive ebooks on how to prep your rig for summer, which you don't want to miss out on. So, are you ready?
Let's take a ride. A father-son bond is pretty special, but grandfather and grandson relationships might be the tightest knit of them all. Today, we get a tour of an amazing international Cabover that a grandson rebuilt in honor of his grandpa, and you won't believe what it's been through. Check it out. How's it going, bosses? Brittany here with the Truck Boss Show. We are here with our good friend Kyle Kelty and his beautiful international Cabover. Kyle, it's got a great story behind it. Can you tell us a little bit about your rig?
Yeah, it's a 76 model international. The cab is actually 1977. If you want the long story, when I was probably 5, I went with Grandpa to pick this truck up when he bought this. It was a used truck, it was a glider. He put 400,000 or 500,000 miles on it. Ended up in Kansas one afternoon, 1987. Right front tire came off like a retread, brand new tire. He rolled it, didn't have power steering at the time. After that, he retired, and he was in his 60s. We found an old cab in Kansas. He knew where a cab was. So we got that, and me and my dad and Grandpa put it together. Grandpa told me not to fix it up. He said, don't fix that old truck up, buy a different one. But it's part of the family. I mean, we've had it forever. So it's been in my family since 82, 83. So had a long history with us.
Yes, and it's such a great tribute to your grandpa. Yeah, and your whole family. I love it. Can you take us on a tour around your rig and show us everything? Yeah. And it's such a good tribute, like we said earlier, such a good tribute to your whole family and your grandpa.
He'd really get a kick out of it. He didn't get to see it before I got it repainted. So.
Oh, yeah, he would love it, I bet. He'd be like, yep, that's him going down the road. Yeah. That's my grandson. What a great and heartwarming story. Chris, what do you have on your end?
As the temperatures continue to rise this summer, it's important that your rig is ready to handle the hot weather. Today we sit down with the Technology and Maintenance Council as they tell us the tips we need to keep our truck cool all summer long. Check it out.
No one wants to be hauling loads in the hot summer months with a broken AC unit. That's why we brought in Robert Braswell of the Technology and Maintenance Council to give us the lowdown on AC preventive maintenance. First things first, how can you tell if your AC isn't performing up to standard?
Okay, one of the common telltale signs that your HVAC isn't performing up to snuff when it comes to air conditioners is that it just isn't getting cool in the cabin, right? Some folks will take either a digital or analog thermometer and put in one of their ducts. And typically you'll see at the duct a temperature range of about 40 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. If you have it on max cool and it's somewhere north of 55 or 60, it's not performing up to optimum spec. The other thing too is even in the wintertime, your air conditioner still is performing a valuable service. For the last couple decades, we've had what we call blended systems, so that the air conditioner is being used in the wintertime when you're using your defroster. So is your defroster working properly in the winter? That's another telltale sign, even though you're not in the summer months.
A milligram of prevention is worth a kilogram of cure. In other words, sometimes a bit of preventive maintenance can save you a good chunk of money in both the short and long term. So what are some easy preventive maintenance tips that you can start implementing today?
One of the first things you can do is clean or replace your external cabin air filter in the HVAC system. That's a removable filter that's somewhere in the cab. Also, while you're in there, clean the heater core too. If you do have a blended air system, you make sure all your doors and seals are good. If there's cab heat, it's controlled by a water flow valve. You want to make sure no hot water is seeping into the heater core, because that's going to be fighting itself when it comes to trying to cool the vehicle. You want to make sure your evaporator drain hose is clean and open. You do want to make sure that your refrigerant level is proper, and the only way that's accurate to do that is to have the system evacuated and refrigerant weighed and then replaced. It costs some, but it's worth it in the end. Also, you might want to change your dryer, because the dryer does get saturated eventually, and you don't want the dryer to fail and fill the system with desiccant.
No one likes to work in a hot cab during those summer months, so make sure you use all of those tips from TMC. And we've got some additional tips for your operation in the summer. Brittany, what you got for us?
Thanks, Chris. Every summer, truckers are faced with inconvenient and costly problems that could have been avoided with a little bit of prep work. Check out these tips from the TBS Truckers Resources ebook, How to Prep Your Rig for Summer.
Higher temperatures can cause pavement to soften and expand, creating rutting and potholes that in turn can cause tire damage, vehicle alignment problems, and more. So where do you start to ensure your truck is on the up and up as the temperatures start to rise? First, check your engine's cooling system, as it can be the costliest expense if it fails. Research has shown that an estimated 40% of preventative engine problems are associated with the cooling system. The items you need to inspect are your radiator's core hose, lines and clamps, your radiator's thermostat, the cooling fan for nicks or cracks, all of your belts for wear and tear, and your heater, its core hose, lines, and clamps. Also check your water pumps if there are any leaks, and make sure your cooling system is full. More than 50% of all catastrophic engine failures are due to coolant leaks, according to industry estimates. So of course, the next step would be to check your antifreeze coolant. Regardless of the color, all antifreeze coolants should have one thing in common: they should be clear. Coolant that appears cloudy or has floating particles could be an indication of a bigger problem. The best practice is to perform an engine antifreeze coolant analysis to determine its condition and its additive concentrations. This inspection should also identify other vehicle problems that could show up in the cooling system. And finally, check your rig's battery and tire pressure. Extreme heat can be hard on batteries and lead to battery degradation, which could result in loss of capacity. Be sure to check for any cracks or leaks in your battery and make sure it's firmly in place. For tires, the air in them expands when the weather heats up and contracts when the weather cools down. Tire professionals advise against bleeding air from a hot tire to relieve normal pressure buildup. Bleeding air pressure will result in underinflation because as the tire cools at the end of the day, inflation pressure drops. Be sure to inspect tires every 2 hours or every 100 miles when driving in very hot weather. There are many ways to beat the heat when it comes to your rig, but following these steps will ensure that you're ready to hit the road when the temps go up.
What good information. And
Yes.
Chris, actually all of that information came from TBS's Truckers Resources ebook that you can actually download for free. We're gonna put that link right here and in the description box below.
Yes.
So go download it.
Yes, we got a lot of good information about the summer going into this show. We've got AC maintenance, we've got prep your rig for summer, so a lot of good stuff in there.
Yes, so much good stuff. But speaking of TBS, we also want to say a big thank you to them. and their Search for Freight load board for sponsoring this episode. This exclusive load board lets you customize your search and find the perfect load for you and your rig. And also, you have access to it anywhere at any time.
Yes, visit the link in the description box below for more information. And stay tuned for the next show because we've got a lot of great segments. We talked to Travis Griffin, the master chef, who's teaching me how to cook his famous Greek Freak burger. So that's a lot of fun.
I like that name.
Yes.
Like that makes me want to eat the burger.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Oh, it's
Greek
great. It's great. And we also get an in-depth look at Blue Parrot's headsets and what they have coming up.
Yes, I'm excited for that. Nikki did that one. They have a good line of headsets. You guys will want to see it. And also, we have a truck montage featuring your trucks. These are your pictures you submitted to us. So stay tuned for your time to shine, duh.
Yeah, that's right.
And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel because we cannot do this without you and your support.
And why do we do this, Brittany?
Because you're the boss.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's do it.